Hi everyone, how are you guys?
तो छुट्टियां खत्म हो गई ये लग रहा है.
Good.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yes, you are back.
Yeah, now my class will also be the same. With the connect.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. So did you
Yeah, it started.
Good. Okay. So
One thing I wanted to ask you, like I had tea during that time and biscuit also. So soon after that, can we do the Anulom Vilom and the Nadi Shodhana also after having something?
try yeah, try that. If something is there in your stomach, then try not to practice any pre-practice or like specifically sit for any practice. So it's okay today. It was a very short notice also. I wasn't expecting. I was expecting I would reach late and start late on the other way around. So that's okay. आप बिल्कुल भी मत करना. एक आध बार भी avoid ही करो. मतलब कभी कभी circumstances ऐसे हो जाते हैं.
Okay.
Okay. So let's begin today's class. Everyone, back in next straight and gently close your eyes and observe your breath. And to relax your mind. And very slowly begin to deepen your breath. Inhale deeply and hold for 2 to 5 seconds. And then continue your breath, being aware of each inhalation and the exhalation. Prepare yourselves for chanting Om 3 times, followed by 3 shanti. After the next exhalation, inhale deeply for Om. Shanti. 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 Just relax. Join both your palms together and the chest and rub the palms together. Place in the eyes. Very slowly while blinking and looking at the great one. Let's begin today's class. So yesterday we started our on Kapalbhati. We understood what Kapalbhati was and just a basic introduction. Okay, so today we are going to just discuss how we are going to practice Kapalbhati. And once again, it also comes under the category of pranayama. Okay, so your posture will be sitting posture when you are doing Kapalbhati. Okay? And main point of focus of practicing Kapalbhati will be that your lower back should be straight. Okay? And when you are pulling in your abdomen, then that you pull in to the maximum capacity and you work mainly with your lower abdomen when you are doing Kapalbhati. Okay. So when I demonstrate the technique also, then also, and in my instruction also, this is going to come that you have to use your lower abdomen. So generally, the instruction comes use your abdomen. So even if that instruction comes in, you guys should know that it is the lower abdomen that you have to engage the most when you are practicing Kapalbhati. Okay. So now let's see the contraindications who cannot practice Kapalbhati. So earlier also I said that not all practices can be, you cannot teach everyone all the practices of pranayama. So for Kapalbhati specifically, there are multiple contraindications. So you guys can write it down. Okay. So in heart disease, you do not practice Kapalbhati. So if anybody has any heart condition, don't make them practice Kapalbhati. Then we also have high blood pressure. If someone has vertigo, they will not practice. Also, in the condition of gastric ulcers and hernia, this practice is to be avoided. Okay. And make sure that in any severe condition, when there is during any severe condition for any disease, if somebody is going through that, then make sure that they only take therapy instead of curing through these practices. Like I'll give you an example. So we know that abdominal breathing is very good to manage anxiety, but that doesn't mean that a person who's having an anxiety attack. Okay, wait. I'll address. Wait, let me just complete this one. So that doesn't mean that someone has who is having a panic attack, at that point of time, you cannot just tell the person that, okay, go for abdominal breathing. In that moment, that person is in a very different state of mind. So when you tell a person in those conditions that go for this yogic practice, they cannot comprehend that thing. Okay? So eventually, when they begin to calm down a little, then you can tell them that now practice abdominal breathing. Then you will see that the downward slope comes very easily. Okay, so there is a peak when you have a panic attack and it goes down slowly. So if somebody who is not, there will be two categories. One person is not practicing abdominal breathing, so they will go down very slowly. and reach their like normal position, say in half an hour. But somebody who's practicing yogic breathing or abdominal breathing at that point of time will reach that low or the normal point maybe in 15 minutes. Okay. So just make sure that in any severe condition, while somebody is suffering through something, like make sure that they go for the right therapy, therapeutic practices when they are over there. So Rahul ji and Pooja ji, you can unmute yourselves and ask.
Okay. If someone is having cough and cold,
Hmm.
so that person is allowed to do Kapalbhati, or should we ask not to?
See, the mucus will be expelled out in the in this practice, and it is a heat generating practice. So yes, you can do that, like in case of cold. But if the nose is blocked, then first do Jalneti, like go for that. If they have fever, then at that point of time avoid the practice. Okay, once they recover, then ask them to practice. So cold is also of two types. One, we have a runny nose. In that, the mucus will be expelled out, so ask them to keep a handkerchief with them. But if the nose is blocked, then it's very hard to practice the Kapalbhati.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Pooja ji?
Yeah. What if a person is not knowing, not knowing they have this, like heart disease or high BP and vertigo or something like that?
So in Kapalbhati, what happens is when you exhale the air out consciously and inhalation is passive, then uh, even a general person would see that there is a lot of dizziness. So that person would definitely not be able to continue the practice. It would make them very uncomfortable. Like I'll take the example of vertigo. Okay, so already in vertigo, they have this sense of imbalance. Yes, they feel
Okay.
chakkar aa raha hai. So when they practice Kapalbhati, they won't be able to continue like the practice because that thing will come up very soon. So they will also like if somebody is practicing this and experiencing this for a long time, then you can ask them to consult a doctor first.
Okay.
So, but go for regular checkups. Yeah, everybody
Okay.
should go for regular checkup.
Okay. Okay.
And whenever a student comes to you, like just make sure that they don't have any underlying conditions. Like if because right now you're not becoming
Aware.
yoga therapist.
Okay.
You are becoming yoga instructors, more like yoga teachers. So you'll be able to teach other people, but the under precondition for this is that the person who is coming is healthy. Okay, so a therapist works on somebody who has on a particular disease or like a combination of disease, then they make their own therapy protocol and add other things also, not just yoga therapy, other things also. So that is the therapist's job. I'm telling you generally because sometimes when you deal with normal public, most people have one or two conditions. So you must be aware. कि, अच्छा ये नहीं करवाना. You don't have to do this.
Okay.
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 Okay. Yes.
So when we do
Especially for
Kapalbhati, when we
Kapalbhati, one more thing that you guys have to. Yeah. Go ahead.
okay, when we practice Kapalbhati, our blood pressure increase automatically, I think, because of the pressure of air going in and coming out.
Oxygen level goes down. You are doing Kapalbhati.
Yeah. Oxygen level increase, as well as I think blood pressure also increase because of the blood flow. When you breathe in a little faster way, your blood flow increase.
Down. Oxygen goes down, but blood pressure and all of these things increase because it is a heat generating practice. Like when you guys
Okay.
practice also,
Okay.
just see what. So that is why there is a lot of dizziness, like during the practice. A lot of people experience dizziness at least when they start the practice. Then they get used to it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
So what you guys have to keep in mind is this is applicable for a general person also. So if somebody is experiencing dizziness during the practice, then you have to ask them to suspend the practice immediately and try to bring their breath back to normal. Okay. And then see what is the state of the body. Okay. Because Kapalbhati, once again, it happens really quickly. So if anybody, like, it should be a part of your instruction that if anybody is facing any dizziness or is feeling uncomfortable while doing the practice, then they need to suspend the practice immediately and calm down their breath. So you have to take care of these things, like when you go into this practice, it's very important. Okay, so let me just demonstrate the technique to you guys. So first thing that you will generally do before practicing Kapalbhati is you will make them relax their mind. Okay. And like we generally go in any practice, we calm ourselves down, we prepare ourselves. And then what you're going to do is, like generally, like what I do is make them take 2 breaths as per your instructions. So like you can ask them to inhale and then exhale, then again inhale and then exhale, so that they are also getting prepared with this breathing pattern. Like, okay, now the practice is going to begin. And then in the third round, you can like tell them to inhale, and in this exhalation start with the practice of Kapalbhati. So in Kapalbhati, there is conscious like exhalation. Okay, so your focus is mainly on exhalation, and there is passive inhalation. Okay, active exhalation, passive inhalation. So I am not concerned about how I am breathing in, how entering my body. About that, my focus is that I contract my abdomen, and when I do that, the air is expelled. So because sometimes what happens is people are not able to disconnect from the inhalation. They are just like in a different way, but it goes in a different way. I'll show you how it's different. Okay. So just give them 2 or 3 breaths, like instructions. You can give them 2 or 3 breaths so that they know that after this, like the next breath, I have to start my practice. Okay. So when you are doing Kapalbhati, what you're going to do is you're going to sit up straight. You can place your hands on your knees, okay, palms facing down, and then you can shift your body forward a little bit. What this thing will do is it will shift the weight of the body uh, forward a little bit. So right now, if my hands are placed on my knees, then there is a pressure on my knees, okay, with my hands. In this way, your lower back remains straight. So why are we adopting this position is because we have to make sure that the lower back remains straight. If you can sit comfortably normally and you are very sure that your lower back is straight, that is also good enough. Okay. So however it suits you today, you can practice in that form. Okay. So you can sit in any comfortable posture and then just make sure your lower back is straight. Okay. And then as you begin to calm down, after that, what we will do is after the last inhalation. So I'm third round. So if I inhale, and right now it's proper active inhalation, then I will start exhaling. So okay, so right now my abdomen is straight. It must not be visible to you guys. So let me hold it a bit like that. Okay, so my arms they can be placed like this on my knees, and then I will bend forward a little bit so that right now I'm just making sure my lower back is straight, or you can do this normally also. So, and then when you exhale, just make sure you're contracting your lower abdomen properly. And it is said like that the shape, that the aim while practicing Kapalbhati is to go till the point where the abdomen touches the spine. Okay, so it's very like when it's written over there, it's pretty extreme. But for us, for our basic understanding, the main point is that we have to contract the abdomen in properly. Okay? So okay, so this is the practice. Like when you are doing Kapalbhati, this is how even all of your like expressions are very normal. Just give me one moment. Now it's stable. Okay. So the expression has to be very normal. Why? Because you are not exhaling through the nose. Like, yes, the air is exiting through your nose, but the pressure is not coming through the nose. It is coming from the contraction of your abdomen. So you will meet people like when they practice, this is how they generally practice. There is a very like tense expression on their face when they practice Kapalbhati. So it's just like, why? Because they are okay. Now it's gone. Just give me one moment. Let me see what I can do. Okay, so you will see that a lot of people have a very tense expression on their face when they're practicing Kapalbhati. Something like there is a very tense expression. So they have to avoid this because the main pressure is being applied. But our focus point is this. One thing is this. Sometimes what we do is so there is movement in the body along with like the exhalation. So only the abdomen will. Sometimes our shoulders are very like up when we are placing our hands over here. So just relax them. Okay. You have to make sure that there is pressure on your palms so that your lower back remains straight. That doesn't mean that my shoulders will go up. Yeah. So shoulders should always be relaxed when you are doing Kapalabhati. Next thing, because right now a lot of classes are going online and we are not able to personally go to the people who practice yoga with us. So a very general indication of somebody practicing Kapalbhati wrong, in the wrong manner is that you will see the way in which their body is moving. Okay, so now if I'm just exhaling, so my body is like this. Okay, but if somebody is inhaling and exhaling, so their body movement would change. Okay, so maybe you won't be able to hear it that much in the breath. Okay, right now, I all of you are on mute. I am instructing, and you guys are listening. So my breath is very clear to you when I'm doing this thing. But when you go for online classes, then you will see that people keep their mics on and their phone is far away. Okay, and you just cannot hear them when they are doing Kapalbhati. So you can just observe the body movement. One is the body in the right position, the body will be stable and only exhalation movement will be there. But when somebody is inhaling with uh, especially with some force, then there is a different movement in the body that is looked for. Okay, so check the movement in the body. when you are checking their practice. Okay. So these are a few points that you have to take care of when you are doing Kapalbhati. So now, okay, I have relaxed my face, my shoulders are relaxed, my body is relaxed, lower back is straight. I have a last round. Like if somebody is going for 20 strokes, so start with 10 strokes, I would say, and then go up till like 15 to 20 strokes for a beginner. That is good enough number. Okay, and try to establish them in this practice. So when you are going for say 20 strokes, so how is your last stroke going to be? So now normally I'm just pushing the abdomen and exhaling. Yeah. In the last stroke, I will exhale all the air out. Okay, so there's proper exhalation. Okay. There is no the continuous exhalation is this. Yeah. So in the last round, exhale out all the air and then just allow your body to breathe as it wants to. So now you're not going to change your breath. You're not going to be like, okay, I'm breathing in a shallow manner. Maybe I should start abdominal breathing to get back to the normal breath. You're not going to do that. You're going to allow the body to breathe as it is, or as it wants to breathe. So sometimes you will see that natural kumbhak, the state of natural kumbhak will come in. Sometimes you will see that you're inhaling, exhaling very like fast after the practice. Sometimes it is slow, calm, deep. So just try to observe that thing. Okay, after the practice, which breath your body is taking. Okay. Another thing, when you are doing Kapal Bhati, make sure that all the strokes are have equal intensity. So generally, what happens is we start with like we start very fast. Okay, so maybe first 10 rounds I will be very fast in my practice, and then because now my body is not able to support the practice, then what will start happening is that earlier I was okay, but I cannot maintain this for longer period of time, so then I will be like it will slow down. Okay, so I have to avoid this. The way in which you're taking your first stroke and the way in which you're taking your last stroke should be equal. Okay, equal intensity and equal gap, equal length. Okay, so when you are practicing Kapalbhati, prepare yourselves. Okay, now I'm going to 20 breaths. So if I know I cannot go very fast for 20 breaths, so fast and slow is not our consideration over here. But generally, what people do is they go for fast, like breathing in Kapalbhati. So that is why I specifically mentioned fast because that tires you out also very easily. Okay. So when people go for that kind of breathing and eventually you observe that they have slowed down, ask them to avoid this, understand themselves, choose the pressure of their first stroke in such a way that it sustains till the last. Okay. Any doubts in that technique or uh, anything like that I
Means how long we can means
said
10 strokes to how
if
many?
something is unclear? How long in the sense?
Yeah, means
How long you can take 10
yes, for
strokes?
10 strokes to maximum how many strokes we can, like
So
time duration.
maximum time duration is different and number of strokes is different over here. So
Okay.
when I said that the number of strokes should be 10, like I was talking about the number. Now these strokes somebody will complete very fast, they'll be able to do it very easily. So you can go for increasing that number for them. Yeah.
Okay.
And if there some people experience dizziness in just 10 rounds. So at that point of time, like ask them to suspend the practice or like go for 5 strokes maybe at first. Time duration depends on how they are taking their strokes.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, like for a lower abdomen, we have to concentrate there, right?
Mhm.
for this. So for inhalation, it goes up, and then exhalation, contraction.
So inhalation you are not focused on. However, the breath is coming in, like you are
Okay.
not focused how
Abdomen.
your abdomen is moving. Okay, just the
Okay.
air is coming in on its own.
Okay.
Exhalation is the part that you are focused on. Okay? And
Focus.
in exhalation, you are contracting your abdomen. So it's different from abdominal breathing.
Okay. Okay.
It's a
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
No. It's the same. Sorry. In exhalation, we push the abdomen. Yeah, it's the same.
Okay.
Any other doubts?
Um, shall we show you the position and how we are doing so you can correct us if there is anything wrong in our posture or in our breathing pattern?
Yeah, you guys can turn on your camera. I'm here to observe only. Just find the correct posture for yourself. Like just for now, like just for a few minutes, just see like if this is suiting you better. Like if you
I feel Vajrasan is comfortable. Yes, if I
Vajra.
sit in Sukhasan, after some time my knee starts paining. So Vajrasan, I feel more comfortable.
Okay. Go ahead with that. See how you're able to practice Kapalbhati in this. Like because um let's see after the session tell me how your experience is. Like with Vajra.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So let's practice once, then let's see what all comes up as doubts. Okay, so just back and neck straight. Gently close your eyes and just watch your normal breath. Check your posture. Relax your neck and shoulder. And specifically check your lower back, making sure that the lower back is straight and that it's relaxed. And then come back to the breath. And begin to deepen your breath. Long, slow, and deep inhalation. Long, slow, and deep exhalations. Be aware of each breath. And now we'll go for 3 breaths. After the third inhalation, you can start with the practice of Kapalbhati. Now just exhale out all the air and start inhaling. and exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and then begin your practice. Contract your lower abdomen and actively exhale out the air. Go for 15 to 20 strokes maximum. In the last round, exhale out all the air. And then allow your body to breathe. Just go at your own pace. Observe the differences in your breath and the body at the completion of the practice of Kapalbhati. Join both your palms together in front of the chest and rub the palms together. Place them over the eyes. Very slowly while blinking and looking at palm, open up the eyes. So how was round one experience? We will do one or two more rounds depending on how much time we have. But how was round one experience? Like what all did you like face? Like do you think you were experiencing dizziness in 15, 20 strokes? Do you want to go for like do you feel you would rather go for less strokes? Like just start sharing. Yeah.
It was good. I mean, I didn't feel anything. Just I was observing my breath. So anything else, I didn't feel. I was okay.
Makes me feel a little lightheaded. It makes me feel, I can't explain it. I do feel slightly different when I'm doing it because, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So go for lesser strokes for now. Like go for 10 to 15 strokes. Just see how you're feeling in that count. Like, and if you feel that 15 strokes is also a lot, then reduce it to 10. See where you are finding a comfortable wavelength. And
Okay.
then continue that practice unless and until you become properly established in that. Then go ahead and increase the numbers. Okay, so first you need to find your own wavelength. For some people, 20 strokes might have seemed less. Right now also, they might have seemed a little bit less, and for some people it seems to be more. So just find your wavelength while we are practicing in the class so that you can take that ahead in your personal practice. Yes, Pooja ji.
Yeah, for me also maybe 15 is more right now. So I'll try for 10, 10, 12, then increase.
Uh, did anybody experience unusual abdominal pain because there is a lot of pressure that is placed on your abdomen when you are practicing? Or well, how about other people? If you guys want to unmute, share your experiences, how you felt during the practice, you can do that. Okay, let's go for one more round. Okay, so now you guys know So I'm going to give a general instruction of 20 strokes only, but you go for 10, 15, okay, as per your capacity. Okay. And if you feel that you want to exceed 20, you can do that, go to 25 or 30, check. Okay. But don't increase the number very sharply in the first go only. Okay. Just
Okay.
increase by 5 or 10. Okay. And
Okay.
just see how your experience is. One more thing, Rahulji, because I know it's night time for you. Kapalbhati should not be practiced during night because it will cause some disturbance in your sleep. Okay. So in
Okay.
the
Okay.
class, we are just doing for practice purposes to understand the technique. But
Okay.
during night, like if in the future we are going, if you get a session where we can do all the pranayams together, so try to avoid the practice of Kapalbhati because then your sleep cycle will be disturbed. So this
Okay.
is just
Okay.
also for anybody if
It's
they're
already
trying
it's
to.
already disturbed. So
I don't think we would want to disturb it further. Like,
like maybe 3 o'clock, 3:30. That's it.
yeah. So that is also one thing that
Yes.
to keep in mind. Okay, so Nadi Shodhan, abdominal breathing, good practices during night. But
Okay.
Kapalbhati, no. Bhastrika,
Okay.
no. Okay, these practices are a big no-no. Okay, so let's go for another round. So back and neck straight. Close your eyes and observe your breath. Calm your mind. Bring it to the present moment. Check your forehead, neck, and shoulders. Just relax these body parts. Check the lower back. And begin to deepen your breath. We start with deep breath. After the neck circulation, inhale deeply. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And start your practice with the exhalation. And once you complete the practice, just in the last stroke, exhale out all the air from the body. And then allow your body to breathe as it wants to breathe. Focus on your abdomen. And shift the focus to the third eye, or the space in your eye to center. Join both the palms together in front of the chest, hand up both palms. Place them over the eyes. And very slowly, while blinking and looking at the palm, open up eyes. Was it easier this time or harder this time?
It was easy. Yeah.
Easy?
Easy.
Oh, good. Because now body is getting used to that. And so good. So if we get time in the next class, we will do 2 to 3 rounds together. Okay. Then see the change from first round to the last round when we do it together. Okay. And build up on this practice. Like make sure that you are contracting the lower abdomen properly when you are doing this, because that is your main focus point. So, any questions in this thing?
No, it's clear.
How to go like practice everyday practice asanas and then breathing technique, or first breathing and then go asana for everyday?
Kapalbhati you can do before you start your asana practice also, because it's a Shatkarma practice, so it's a cleansing practice. So you can go for Kapalbhati before our asana practice. Then you can go into asana practice, and then you can do cooling pranayamas. So then you can go into abdominal breathing, Nadi Shodhan, and other practices that we will learn. And
Okay.
you can also do it the other way around, but place Kapalbhati first, because
Okay.
whenever you take a session, then you start by building up the energy of the group, and then you by the end you relax them, give them shavasana, and then you go into the practice of pranayama. So when you suppose that you're going for a practice of Kapalbhati after asana practice, okay, so then first practice should be Kapalbhati, then go for other practices.
Okay.
Okay. Stomach should be completely empty, or
Empty.
you can take tea or maybe water or something.
Okay, so generally, like uh, try to avoid drinking water like during the practice, but before the practice, like if you are feeling very weak, you can go for honey water, lukewarm honey water.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
When you're doing Kapalbhati, especially, just if your stomach, the emptier your stomach is, the better you will be able to contract the stomach. So,
Okay.
you're not feeling weak or thirsty, then try to avoid taking water.
Okay.
In early morning, like we wake up and we freshen up and then we drink some water. Yeah, so do that, and
Yes.
after that, just like you can then you can place Kapalbhati later. Okay, so in this
Okay.
case, just strategically change the position of Kapalbhati. In evening, like we ensure that there is a gap of 3 or 4 hours after the meal. Then we practice yoga. So
Okay.
at that point of time, you can do Kapalbhati.
Okay.
Okay.
See, in yoga, yes, there are a few things that I can tell you how you have to go about it. But as you progress in your practice, you will see first you will see what protocol works for you. You will experience that protocol. So I would say experience both the things. In one Kapalbhati first, in one Kapalbhati later.
Okay.
This experience is what will help you take your own class. So this is the part that you are looking for when you are in yoga practice. The experience that you develop, that is what your students will also build up upon. Okay, so
Yes.
now that this thing has come up, so next time when you are doing this, practice both the things, see which one you felt was better. Okay, this is your pranayam class homework.
Okay.
Okay, so
Set.
any other doubts?
It's clear.
Yes. Oh, great. As far as I could this, everybody's lower back was, I think, straight, and even breath was moving correctly. So, and immediately suspend the practice if there is any difference. So just
Okay.
make sure this one thing should be very, very like um, top of the priority list. So let's end today's session.
Yes. Thank you.
So we'll chant Om one time, followed by three Shantis. So back in next straight. Close your eyes. Observe your breath. And inhale deeply for Om. Om. Shan. Shan. Shanti. Join both your palms together in front of the chest and just bow down. And remember any one instant from the past 24 hours that you are grateful for. Say a mental thank you. And rub both the palms together. Place them over the eyes. And very slowly, while blinking and looking at palm, come back with a smile. And namaste to everyone. I will see all of you tomorrow in your philosophy class.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Thank you.
Shubharatri.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.